spewing lava and steam, but no one expected this. The massive explosion was caught on camera by a BBC crew. Piping hot volcanic ash and rock rained down as tourists and the crew fled. One reporter described it as running down a mountain being pelted by rocks, dodging burning boulders and boiling steam.
Whoa.
A camerawoman shook burning embers off her back. She later tweeted a photo of the hole burned in her jacket. At least 10 people were injured from flying debris, taking shelter in a passing snowcat. The blast is what's known as a frito-magmatic eruption caused by extremely hot lava hitting much colder snow. Police on snowmobiles responded for what was a lucky escape for everyone.
In the fast-moving, muddy water and piles of dangerous debris, a woman almost washed away. As she tries to free herself, her hair seemingly gets stuck before she finally pulls herself to safety. One of many lives narrowly spared from Peru's raging flooding and mudslides that officials say have killed more than 70 people so far this year and left more than 70,000 people homeless. Tonight, as intense downpours overwhelm towns and send rivers pouring over their banks, desperate rescues are underway. Near the normally dry capital city of Lima, dozens of people crowd onto rooftops above washed-out streets. Zip lines being used to bring families and pets over fast-rising water. Others are forming human chains to get to dry ground. Tonight, half of the country is declared a state of emergency.
Israeli army says their war jets have struck military facilities in the northern Gaza Strip. The strike is seen as a retaliatory move after a rocket was fired from Gaza at southern Israeli territory on Saturday. The Palestinian side confirmed the strikes, saying 2 Hamas observation posts were attacked. Israel and Hamas have fought 3 wars since 2008. A fragile ceasefire has been observed since 2014 along the largely closed border.
The last 2 times North Korea has fired off missiles, this multiple launch earlier this month and a more advanced model in February, U.S. intelligence has been caught by surprise. North Korea's increasing ability to launch without warning is one reason Secretary of State Tillerson overturned 2 decades of U.S. policy toward North Korea.
The policy of strategic patience has ended.
Strategic patience is the diplomatic way of saying the U.S. has relied on economic sanctions, covert sabotage, and cyber attacks to make it difficult for North Korea to develop nuclear weapons. But as President Trump put it in a tweet, North Korea is behaving very badly. They have been playing the United States for years. Following a visit to the DMZ dividing the 2 Koreas, Secretary Tillerson said in effect, no more games, and raised the threat of a preemptive strike against the North.
If they elevate the threat of their weapons program to a level that we believe requires action, that option is on the table.
But a preemptive strike would almost certainly result in massive loss of life by triggering a North Korean artillery barrage on the South Korean capital of Seoul.
The South Korean military has said that its Navy will conduct joint military exercises with the United States in waters around the Korean peninsula starting Sunday. In addition to the USS Carl Vinson supercarrier, a South Korean Aegis destroyer, more than 60 surface vessels, submarines, patrol aircraft, and helicopters are expected to participate in the maneuvers.
The United Nations has reported that the ongoing violent clashes and famine in South Sudan have forced more than 70,000 refugees to flee into neighboring Sudan over the past 2 months. Experts warn the East Africa and Horn of Africa regions that they should be braced for a spillover from the South Sudan conflict. Neighboring countries were advised to support peace-building initiatives to avoid such a scenario.
Syrian government forces battled rebel groups on the fringes of Damascus on Sunday after insurgents launched an attack from the east of the capital. The UK-based Syrian Observatory for Human Rights said the army and allied forces had engaged in heavy clashes with rebels in the Jobar district. Insurgent groups attacked government positions in the area, including 2 incidents of suicide car bombs in an attempt to storm defense lines. The Jobar district lies between Damascus and the besieged rebel stronghold of eastern Ghouta, which government airstrikes have battered in recent weeks.
In this country, drastic temperature swings in the southeast are taking a heavy toll on crops. A warm February followed by a March cold snap has farmers scrambling to keep produce from freezing to death.
The 5th-generation farmer pulled back these protective tarps and winced. 1/3 of his strawberry crop is dead.
A battle worse than you expected.
Well, the strawberries are actually a whole lot worse than I expected.
His 140 acres of peach trees got it worse. All that pink blooming are vulnerable peach buds, which opened 3 weeks early because of the unusually warm temperatures this winter. The deep freeze killed half of Eccles' peach crop. Across the region, farmers are counting their losses. Gary Black is Georgia's agriculture commissioner.
It would be easy to say that we're in hundreds of millions of dollars.
North Carolina peach farms looked like a winter wonderland. Overhead irrigation tried to insulate the crop from freezing temperatures and winds. In South Carolina, farmers hoped protective covering would save the state's strawberry crop. But in South Georgia, blueberry fields fell into a deep